Hi and welcome back to Normski TV. Gonna just do a quick player ratings and review of the game yesterday. Arsenal 2, Newcastle 0. I'll say that basically the best time this game really erupted was in the second half of extra time. That's how long it took for us to see any real action. I'm going to say the first half, especially the first half, was absolutely terrible. It was back to the old Arsenal, back to that old sideward, backwards passing. And I wasn't surprised because obviously with the players that were starting, obviously the starting lineup, I'm going to give that to you now. We had Leno in goal, which obviously I would obviously want him to start in goal because there's no way I'm having Ronaldson in there. We had Cedric Suarez at right back, David Luiz and Pablo Marie at centre back with Tierney at left back. Mohamed El Nene was in front with Willock, and then the three was Pepe, Willian, Nelson, and Aubameyang. Now, obviously, the Nelson move was a false one because Martinelli got injured in the warm-up. He didn't look too good. He went over on his ankle. Apparently, he was in a lot of pain. I think he was in tears, according to Arteta. And he's saying that the news doesn't look too good. They're waiting for a scan, which is going to happen sometime today. So we will know the extent of the injury tomorrow. I'm hoping it's not going to be a bad one, but it looks like he's going to be out for a few games. It's just his luck when it comes to injury. Just coming back from a long-term injury. Would have loved to see him play. I think if he was playing yesterday, I think we would have probably seen a different game. Probably would have scored, within normal time. But it took, Lacazette, Smith Rowe, Saka, these guys to come off the bench to make a difference. The players, Pepe, Willian, Pepe, the jury now for me is very much out on this guy. We've paid 72 million for this guy, and yesterday, he was picking up the ball and trying to create chances, but sometimes we should have laid it off. He didn't, and you knew what he was going to do when he picked it up on his left foot. He would cut inside from the right hand side, pick up on his left foot, but literally, he was literally putting it wide all the time, if not over the bar, wide all the time. And just, I don't know, he's a frustrating player. He's a frustrating player, and I'm starting to really lose faith with this guy. We paid a lot of money for him, but, the likes of Saka, Smith Rowe, they look better than him. Martinelli, they look better than him. This guy, you would think by now he would be showing some kind of consistency and form, but right now he's too inconsistent, and that's why I get why Arteta's not starting him. Willian, I don't know. When I come to the player ratings, man, you'd be lucky if you get a 2. He again just was there for his paycheck, his last 3-year paycheck. Didn't look interested. There was a chance where he ballooned it over the bar, had time to settle. I think it was a shot was saved from Aubameyang, from the goalkeeper, Dubravka, who had a really good game, kept Newcastle in the game. But as I said yesterday, watching the game, the likes of Willian and Pepe, even Aubameyang, Willock, Willock just ain't ready. He just ain't ready for the first team. His decision making again just lets him down, losing the ball in dangerous places. I think Mohamed El Nene had an okay game. Even though he was playing a lot of sideways passes and stuff like that, he kept the ball ticking over. As I said, you get what is on the tin with Mohamed El Nene. But Willock, just don't think he's ready yet. Don't think he's ready. He needs to go on loan. As I said, Willian didn't offer nothing whatsoever. Pepe was just frustrating. Nelson, think just coming back also. I don't know if he was injured at the time, but obviously he had to come in at the last minute. So maybe preparation-wise, he wasn't ready. It seemed like the way he was playing wasn't ready. Wasn't really in the game. For me, the player for me, Tierney, he was the man, literally up and down that left side, just giving problems after problems, whipping in crosses, and obviously setting up the goal for Aubameyang. Pablo Mari had a very decent game. You know, I personally speaking, he shouldn't get dropped. I mean, you know, you've got Gabriel Mangalese coming back. You've got Holding, who, between Holding and Pablo Mari, are forming a good partnership. David Luiz yesterday played okay, but it's just that when these type of players were playing, you notice that everything was very slow and methodic. Literally from the goalkeeper to Luiz, he will then take 2 or 3 touches, then he'll play it sideways to Pablo, then he'll play it to Suarez, then he'll play it back to the goalkeeper. So it was kind of going back to that old Arteta ball. You know what I mean? It was really slow, predictable. Not saying that we got caught out. You know, I must say the player for Newcastle, literally, I mean, Andy Carroll, he gave us so much problems in the air. You know, I mean, if they had won that game, he would have probably got man of the match. He was in both boxes, header in, you name it, a couple of defensive headers. He had a massive chance to put, you know, Newcastle through in, I think it was the 92nd minute, where Leno made a fantastic double save, a block, and then he managed to get his hand to it and got to the ball before Andy Carroll could take a sweep at it and get second time. So we have to thank Leno for that. But in general, it took us until the second half of the extra time for us to really kick into gear. And when these players came on, you know, to replace like Pepe, Willian, Nelson, what a change. Willock, you know what I mean? Shaq, I think, came on for Willock, if my memory serves me right. And I think Suarez went off, and Maitland-Niles came on literally with about probably 5 minutes to go or so, 5-10 minutes to go. But you could see that it's our youngsters that are really giving us the dynamism in that last attacking third. And you know, without these players, you know, I mean, that's why I'm worried about Martinelli. I'm hoping that he's going to be okay. But Pepe, Willian, just not offering nothing to the side. We're just literally, it seems like we just reverted backwards when these guys are started. And they have not done anything to say, put any pressure on Saka, put any pressure on Smith Rowe. Nothing at all. Nothing whatsoever. You know, if these guys are wanting to lock down a place, they certainly didn't do a job yesterday. Willian was absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. Aubameyang, you know, he missed a couple of chances. You know, he needs to get his confidence back. Even though he got the goal eventually, you know what I mean? He's not going to get a fantastic score from me either, because I think that this guy really needs to stop feeling sorry for himself. It was good to see him smile when he scored the goal, but, you know, I'm hoping that from this, he will push on. You know, I said it in the last game, or I can't remember what game it was where he scored, and he was hoping that he would push on from there. But it seems as if he's still kind of stuck in that having not been able to, you know, put the ball in the back of the net consistently. So we'll just hope that this will be the changing of the guard, so to speak. But I don't know. I don't know. Lacazette, guy who's really in form, came on, and I said between him, Smith Rowe, Saka, they totally changed the game. And obviously Tierney, who I'm going to be giving my man of the match. My mate was saying that it should go to Smith Rowe, but I did notice when Smith Rowe was playing, there was a couple of times he gave the ball away. But what I liked about Smith Rowe is when he picks that ball up, his only fault is to take it on the half turn and get that ball forward. And what I am finding with the midfield, especially Mohamed El Nene and Willock, you know, Mohamed El Nene is not going to pick up the ball and on the half turn. He will receive the ball with his back to goal. Then he has to turn. Then he has to find his player. And there was a couple of, I think there was one time where he tried to go past a player, but just didn't have the skills. He's just a very basic footballer, you know, just doing basic stuff, which is hit the ball sideways, backwards, and occasionally forward. So when you get someone like Saka or Smith Rowe, they're always going to be picking up the ball, taking it after. And that's why we need man like Partey back in that middle of the park. Obviously, Xhaka came in. a lovely pre-assist for the second goal, where he found Tierney in that space, literally playing the ball from midfield into that space, into the box, and Tierney obliged with an assist for Aubameyang to seal it 2-0. So yeah, you know, I'm gonna go through the player ratings, and basically gonna start off with Leno in goal. You know, the double save that he made, mate, that was the thing that saved us from going out. If he did not make that save, what a block. And then to literally his reflex was to then, you know, block it with his hand and literally jump on it, you know, from the rebound. At one time I thought he was going to get his head kicked off, the way Carroll took a swing, you know, for the second time. So, you know, for Leno, he didn't really have much to do. But because of those two saves, I'm gonna give Leno a 7. I'm gonna give Leno a 7. Suarez again, okay, didn't do nothing much. The thing about Suarez then is his crosses, just not hitting. He always seems to be hitting the first man, first defense, when he crosses it in, not reaching any of our players. And yes, he did okay, but nothing spectacular. I'm giving Suarez a 5. David Luiz, for me with David Luiz, there was a couple of balls you know, because he likes to create from deep, and there was a couple of balls that he did play. Some, I was thinking, what on earth? He has this in his locker every now and again, where he just hits a long ball and he literally hits it to the goalkeeper or out, and he does that on a number of occasions. He did that yesterday as well. And then when he does pick up the ball, he's looking for options, taking a long time, and then he plays it sideways to Pablo. He receives it back. He plays it to Dennis, and then he plays it back to Leno. You know, and it was just all back to not getting that ball through the lines quick enough. Did okay in defence. I'm going to give him a 6. Pablo Marie for me, you know, done well. You know, coped with Andy Carroll, because he's a very good header of the ball, if not one of the best headers of the ball in the Premier League. Pablo Marie was decent, very calm on the ball, you know, and didn't really put a foot wrong. You know, done his job, you know, when he needed to play the ball, he wouldn't. And most of his balls that he did play, most of them, you know, they were forward passes, you know what I mean? But I don't want him to get into that situation where he ends up, you know, Gabriel's, I noticed, is starting to do it, where receives the ball, playing it sideways and backwards and whatnot. Get that ball forward as quick as possible. Pablo Marie, I'm going to give him a 7. Tierney, for me, man of the match. This guy sets up Aubameyang. You know, he was just literally up and down that wing, just causing problems after problems. Didn't stop, got an injury on him. This guy has to be a captain, a future captain. Absolutely brilliant. Mr. Scottish man, lovely job there. Fantastic. I'm giving Tierney an 8 out of 10. I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10 because I just thought he had a brilliant game. I'm not going to give him a 9 because the reason why I'm saying that is because the first half, second half of the normal time wasn't brilliant by everybody, but Tierney was the one that was literally outstanding out of the lot of them. So I'm giving Tierney an 8 and man of the match. Mohamed El Nene, I'm going to give him a 6. Just kept things ticking over. I think there was one incident where he lost the ball and, you know, Newcastle broken us, but fortunately it didn't come to nothing. As I said, it says what it says, or what it does on the tin, as it were, with El Nene. He is your basic footballer, squad player, but, you know, Arteta plays him. I'm giving him there was one ball he played which I think he nearly set up. I'm sure it was Aubameyang, and Aubameyang ended up missing. I think that was the only time he played a nice, decent ball. Other than that, you know, he is what he is, the basic footballer. I'm giving El Nene a 6. Willock, just not ready, bro. You're not ready for this. You know what I mean? You might shine in the Europa, but when it comes to the FA Cup in Premier League, you're not cutting it. Your decision making. Oh, you had one big chance where you headed it. You was in the box. The ball came to you from a cross. I think that also came from Tierney, and you literally headed it down into the ground, and the goalkeeper was able to parry it away. I'm giving you a 4, Willock. I'm giving you a 4. Pepe, frustrating, very frustrating player. gets himself into good positions, but it's his final ball. It's his final ball, and you know, overplaying. Worked hard, was working hard, but just the final ball. And until he sorts that out, you know what I mean? I don't know. I just think the jury's out on him, man. And he's this £72 million, mate. The value of it, man. You know, I always refer to him. If he's having a bad game, he's a 72 pence player. Yesterday, he was probably about a £7.20 player. That's what I've got to say, because I just don't think he makes the right decisions. When he should pass it, he doesn't, and then he shoots, and just literally, he's becoming too predictable. I don't know. Maybe coming in from the other side, playing on the other wing, I don't know. But at the moment, just not cutting it for me, and he's not staking a claim for that position at all. Saka, for me, has got that position locked down, absolutely locked down. So I'm giving Pepe. I'm gonna give Pepe a 5. Give Pepe a 5. Willian, mate. Listen, if Arsenal can, I don't know what club it was. I don't know if it was Man United with Bebe. I don't know. There was some club that was duped, yeah, into getting a player. Somebody let me know in the comments. There was one player that came to Man United, and literally they're thinking, where has this player come from? I want to know what's happened to Willian's twin, because this is not the Willian that played for Chelsea. And I was warned by my mates, this guy will give you one good game. And so far, we've played how many games? Literally, the only time this guy's given us a good game is the Fulham game. Other than that, we ain't seen nothing from this guy. It just doesn't look interested. He's just come for his payday, and that's it. Payday, thank you very much, lovely. And when he's on the pitch, I don't know, the chance where, you know, Aubameyang, you know, hit it at the keeper parried it, rebounded, and it came to him, and literally just ballooned it over the bar. Just, I don't know, he just doesn't look interested at all. And we're paying this guy 100,000+ a week, 3-year deal. We've made a massive mistake. You know, Ozil looks like he's going to be out the door, but yet we've got this guy now to continue. Are we going to be able to get him? He's just here for the payday, and you know, you got Arteta coming out and saying, you know, in some points of the game he was good. What are you watching, Arteta? And that's the reason why Arteta, I can't be vouching for you to be managing this club, because I don't know what you are seeing in this guy. Why you think that this guy will find his form? Look how many games it is. He's playing how many games? At least 18+ games. What's going on? What is going on? You're getting a 1, bro. You're getting a 1, Willian, man. You're lucky. You're lucky. You're getting a 1. Reece Nelson, again, you know, okay, you know, you're coming back from injury as well, and probably wasn't expected to play. You had to come in for Martinelli. Just weren't in the game. Didn't see much from you. I don't know. I mean, do you need to go out on loan? Possibly. Just needs game time, really. Do you know what I mean? He does it in bits, but today we didn't really see much from him. You know, I thought with the youth, with him there, I might have given some sort of thrust drive up front, but didn't really see much from him. I'm going to give Nelson a 4. I'm going to give him a 4. Aubameyang, even though he scored the goal, there was a couple of times where he should have. There's one where I can't remember who set him up. He was coming from the right-hand side. Should have scored. There was a header. Maybe 2 or 3 chances. Obviously, the chance that he had, he did put away in the extra time when Tierney squared him up. Nice, easy take. And that's what he does. But he's still not giving me enough. His all-round play. You know, some people were saying that, you know, it's because he's not getting the service. Some are saying that, you know, he's making the runs and whatnot. But I just don't know. I don't know. It must be a confidence thing. Listen, you know, I want Aubameyang to do well. You know, because for the last 2 seasons, he's been our main talisman. So he has to get his form back. And even though he scored yesterday, I'm not scoring this guy more than a... sorry, I'm going to have to... Aubameyang, I know you got the goal. All right, I'm going to give you a 5. I was going to score you a 4, but because you got the goal, I'm going to give you a 5. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you a 5. Let's go with the subs. So Emil Smith-Rowe came on for Nelson, got the goal, nearly got sent off. I don't think it was a red card. Literally, when you watch it back, I don't even know if it was a yellow, to be honest. I mean, he had his hands up behind his head thinking that, he was going to walk. But I don't know why people were saying it was a red card. I don't think it was a red card at all. Because when he went for the ball, yes, his foot was high. But if you look, the player, I can't remember who the player was, literally kind of ran into his feet, but from the side. So it wasn't like his studs caught him. Do you know what I mean? And then the player just went over dramatically. So I'm glad that the referee went and had a look after VAR looked at it and said, like, go and check the screen. Came back and overturned it and gave a yellow. Thankfully that was good, because if he had got that straight red, he would have missed upcoming games. So I'm glad that he didn't. And then obviously he ended up giving us the lead in the, I think it was in the second half of the extra time. So really glad for that. Him and Lacazette linking up, and he puts the ball in the back of the net. They're calling him the South London De Bruyne. You know what I mean? Let's not eat too much pressure on this guy. You know what I mean? But he's coming really good, and for me, he has to start the next game. Absolutely has to start. Saka came on for Willian, and Saka does what he does, you know what I mean? It just makes everything more exciting. And that's what I like about Saka. His fault is just to get forward on the turn, and he's trying to link up with Smith-Rowe, Lacazette, you name it. He's trying to make things happen, and that's what I like about this player. Very young, but you know what I mean, he did okay. Yes, I'm going to give Saka a 7. Granit Xhaka, lovely pre-assist, just kept things simple. He came on for Willock. Nice pre-assist, laying on the ball to Tierney, who then squared up Aubameyang for the winner, basically, the second goal. He done all, just kept things ticking over. I'm gonna give Granit Xhaka I'm gonna give him a 7. I'm gonna give him a 7. Lacazette, who came on for Nicolas Pepe, as soon as he come on, enthusiasm bit between the teeth, just working hard, making things happen. He did a 1-2 with Smith-Rowe to give us the lead. Lovely, Lacazette at the moment, can't fault him. You know what I mean? He's the main man right now. I'm going to give Lacazette a 7. I'm going to give Lacazette a 7. I'm not going to really score Maitland-Niles because he wasn't on long enough. He wasn't on long enough, so I'm not going to. He came on for Cedric Suarez, but I ain't going to score him because I don't think he was on long enough. Arteta, Mikel Arteta. I'm going to give him a... I'm going to give Mikel Arteta... gosh, because of the fact that he started Willian, yeah, that's a negative. I think I'm going to give Arteta a 7. I'm going to give him a 7. He made the changes, albeit, I wish he had started Lacazette or even brought him on earlier. If you weren't seeing anything happening, bringing him on early, he brought on Lacazette in extra time. You know what I mean? I actually didn't realise that we was allowed to do 5 subs, so even better. So I'm going to give Arteta a 7. And listen, jury is still out on you, mate. I'm not convinced still. You've got to do a lot more than that for me. And then when you're making, remarks about Willian and that, he's doing okay, and that sometimes, it might not fall for him. And I'm like, man, you're watching a totally different game to me. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm going to give you a 7. That's my score for you. We're through to the next round. The draw for the 4th and 5th round is going to take place on Monday. That's tomorrow. So look out for that. Hopefully we'll get a nice, easy draw, because now we're getting down to the serious things. You know what I mean? There's a couple of teams that have been knocked out, like Leeds, which is a bit of a shock. They got knocked out. I can't remember who the side it was, but it was. I don't know if it was Crawley. It might be Crawley, but I might be wrong. But yeah, they got knocked out today. They lost 3-0. Chelsea are through. For those, Mr. David Worry will be very happy. Yeah, we move on. But yeah, we've got the game coming up on Thursday against Crystal Palace. 2 home games. Crystal Palace on Thursday, followed by another home game against Newcastle on the Monday, I believe. So we've got 2 back-to-back home games. Hopefully, Martinelli is not injured bad, but I can't see him featuring for those games. Hopefully, Partey will feature for the Crystal Palace game. He may well come off the bench, but you know, Arteta should be starting those, you know, youngsters again, because those are the players that are doing it for us. So if we can get 2 back-to-back wins at home, you know, we're starting to climb the table slowly, and hopefully we'll see how we go. We have got some tough games towards the end. Southampton away, Man United at home, so there are some difficult games towards the end of January, so we've got to make sure that we get these 2 wins at home against Crystal Palace and Newcastle. Listen, guys, again, like to thank you for watching the channel, for subscribing and listening, and as I rightly say, please like, subscribe and share, and I will see you on the next one. Hopefully I will be doing a podcast in the coming week. It was due to do one with Liverpool and Chelsea supporter, my good friends Kofi and David. I don't know whether they'll be up for it, but you will see something hopefully. If I do it, it will be tomorrow evening, and I'm trying to see if I can do a podcast with my Arsenal mates, just looking at Arteta, whether the jury is still out on him or has he got a reprieve. Let me know what you think. Put it in the comments. Let me know. But again, please like, subscribe and share. And I'll see you on the next one. Take care.